Hi, it's Pete Madsen, and I'm here to give you a 2-for-1 lesson in Robert Johnson's songs. I'm going to do both Kind-Hearted Woman and 3220 Blues. They might sound like very different songs, but they actually use the same chord voicings, same chord shapes. One is a slower tempoed song, Kind-Hearted Woman's a slower tempoed song, and 3220 Blues is a faster tempoed song. But they both use the same chord shapes, and I'll show you how to use them, how to play those songs. Again, using a lot of the same elements, a lot of the same turnaround ideas. What I just played at the top there was the intro to Kind-Hearted Woman and the turnaround that Robert Johnson would use all the time. Let me play that intro again, and then I'll play a verse, and then we'll break it down. Here we go. Okay, so that's the first verse of Kind-Hearted Woman, and I'll spare you the vocal because I cannot sing it very well. Maybe I'll talk out the lyrics a little bit as we go, so you'll get a reference point. The beginning part, the intro, it's like a 3-bar, 3-measure introduction before the verse comes in. Essentially, we're starting off with an A7 chord played up here between the 8th and 9th fret. Okay? And all we're going to do is play that as a triplet. Remember, three notes, or three 8 notes played in the space of one beat. That's a triplet. 1, 2, 3. Then I'm going to move that one fret down, and another fret down. And then important part here is we play the open A string, which allows us to get into this long A-shaped kind of chord and do the turnaround lick that we hear in almost every Robert Johnson tune. So what that is, you can do this in a couple of different ways. The first thing you should do is really put your pinky down on that A note at the 5th fret on the 1st string. And then simultaneously I'm going to pluck the open A and that note. Now what we're going to be doing is we'll be walking down the bass from the 4th string 5th fret to the 4th fret down to the 2nd fret, which will become the E chord. The idea there with the bass notes, the walking bass note, is they all occur on the beat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And then what we play on top is this A string, which would be some combination of triplets and shuffle 8s. If I play just that string over this 4 count of the beat, it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, triplet. So I do a triplet the first time, then shuffle 8s for the next 3 beats. With the bass, it sounds like this. So you're going to be always, as you descend down this bass, you're going to be simultaneously plucking the that A note on the E string. When you get down to that 2nd fret, that's your transition to an E. And this is what a turnaround is. It's moving from, in this case, A to E, the 1 chord to the 5 chord. A, E. Okay, so that's the intro. Let me play that one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now we're into the verses. The critical thing here is the chord voicings that Robert Johnson uses. This is another version of an A7. It kind of looks like a D chord, but it's if you move it over onto the 4th, 3rd, and 2nd strings and slide it up to the 5th and 6th fret. So in this 4 bars here, he's basically just going to move from that A to an A diminished. You move this shape down 1 fret, add your pinky to the 1st string, and you get this A diminished chord. This is great sound. If you get nothing else from this lesson, this is a really cool sound to work over the 1 chord, in this case A. Timing wise, you can break this down like this. 4 bars. The first bar is just A7, 2, 3, 4. The second bar is a diminished chord. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then Johnson halves the time between the change between the chords. We go back to A. 1, 2, diminished, 3, 4. And then he halves that time again. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Then we go to the 4 chord, which is D7. And what I'm doing here is I'm not doing a full D7 like so. I'm just fretting the 3rd string and the 2nd string. And then I'm wrapping my thumb over the top to play an F sharp in the bass. Great sound, really cool sound. And then just kind of thumping that bass. Again, I'm using palm muting, this part of my palm laying against the strings. Probably one of the trickier parts of this song is going from the D7 with the F sharp and the bass back to the A7. So yeah, you might need to practice going back and forth. Break that down and just get that move smooth. Then you're at E. You probably don't even really need to fret a whole E chord. You could throw the pinky in here. It's E or E7. Back to D. And then our turnaround lick again. Rhythmically, there's all sorts of different ways you could interpret the turnaround. The first time we did this in the intro, it was a triplet, followed by shuffle eights. You could do it all as shuffle eights. Try doing it all as triplets. You could play both the bass and the top as shuffle eights. So there are a lot of different ways to do that, and Robert Johnson would, rhythmically interpret that in different ways in different songs. Okay, so that's basically Kind Hearted Woman. Now, 3220 Blues shares those same chord voicings. It's just a faster tempo song, so the rhythm comes at you quicker. And let me play a little bit of that just so you can hear. But I'm going to be using the same chord voicing. So here would be a typical verse of 3220 Blues. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so you might have noticed I'm using that same A7, and then a diminished chord, back to A7. Now this is where it strays a little bit. We'll go to this long A. Sorry. Now you could actually get away without barring here at the second fret, but the main thing here is you're doing this little chromatic rundown from A to G, so like from A to A7. So that's one thing to keep in mind about the differences between 3220 and Kind-Hearted Woman. So we start off. Then we go to our D7 chord, same as before as Kind-Hearted Woman. Back to the long A. Okay, that time he's going A, A7, A6, plays an open E there at the end. Then we go to E, D7, turn around. Sorry. So, well, one more time the verse on there. 1, 2, 3. Try and contrast that with Kind-Hearted Woman. Oops, I went back to 3220. So with the same chord voicings, you get two songs for the price of one. You get these A7, A diminished chords, the D7, and your turnaround. Have fun with that. I think it'll be a big kick. You can always use those ideas if you're playing a shuffle in A. And play around with it and see what comes up.